So, for the sake of this class, we would be focusing on the following session, just to make it a bit easy. I want to believe we've had interactions with our manual. What everything I'm going to be teaching would be everything within this particular document that you can see. So this is the full manual that I've been able to put together to guide our conversation. And the interesting thing about it is that I will be touching on each of the points within the manual, and it is supposed to serve two purposes. Number one, I will teach life on them, on each of them on the go, because the things that we're going to be teaching are always changing. When I use the word, there are some basic fundamentals that's not going to change, and there are some fundamentals that will change depending on the laws that come up in the course of the in terms of labor law within Nigeria, depending on the geographies that you're operating from. So, for the sake of this class, we've broken it into the various areas. These are the various areas which we are going to be covering. Number one is strategic compensation issues. Two is job analysis and job evaluation, pay structure anatomy, remuneration survey, contemporary reward issues. The whole essence of a compensation and benefit class is to set the foundation, knowing fully well that your ability to attract individuals, your ability to motivate individuals within the organization and retain them is within the purview of compensation and benefits. Also within the purview of what we now evolve as total reward management. So total reward management has to do with everything an employee perceives as value coming from that employment relationship. So it's very critical that you understand that value. Interestingly, the way you're going to motivate people, attract people in real estate will be completely different from consulting, will be completely different from film industry, will be completely different from international development or fast-moving consumer goods. Now, I'll give you a typical example I like to cite a lot. When the telcos came into Nigeria, talking about the likes of Zain. How many of us know Zain? Zain is now what we call Airtel now. So the likes of Econet, the likes of MTN, the likes of Glo. When they came in, remember, and Econet was the very first to come in. They do not have resident telco individuals within the country. So the way they are going to attract is a closely knitted industry. So they will find people from a close industry and will bring them in. But by the time Glo joined in the train, MTN joined in the train, they can now start to recruit individuals from each other. Then by the time Nine Mobile, Etisalat, Nine Mobile that we know now, but Etisalat when they came in, by the time they came in, they had three different industry players within the telco industry that they can poach individuals from. Now, their recruiting style in terms of compensation will be slightly different. The way a bank, a financial sector, a traditional bank is going to recruit is slightly and completely different from the way a startup like a Flutterwave, a Paystack will recruit, because each of them have their own unique value proposition. Now, all of that goes into your strategic compensation issues. Then, how do we structure the jobs within our organization? Why do I come into a bank and they tell me I'm going to become banking officer one, for example, or even a graduate trainee or executive trainee, as whatever name they may call it? Then they'll tell me I will start from ABO1, ABO2, and I continue to progress within the career ladder. Or I go into another organization and they say everybody that's an entry level person comes in as officer one, then they become officer two, then they become officer three, and continues like that. Talking about your job evaluation, or what we call your job grades. Now, each of the grades would determine their corresponding salary. If you pick a bank, what you're going to pay an ABO1 is not what you're going to pay a manager or an assistant manager or a SBO, as the case may be. Then you now start to talk about your salaries in correlation with your grades. Then, in order for you to do all of this, you need to look at what the market is saying. What the market is saying is talking about remuneration surveys. So, how are people paying within the sales, within the telco industry? Can we pitch in that space? How do we pay if we're in real estate? Real estate may have a combination of fixed salaries and commissions. So you sell this property, then you get paid X amount. Or were you within the film industry? How do you get paid? Or international development, they have a lot of funding around them. Most of their work is a bit more international and national based. They may be they may be working locally within a country, but they are pitching their salaries outside of the country. That's the remuneration survey. Then contemporary reward issues. We would agree that recently within Nigeria, for example, the current fuel subsidy has skyrocketed salaries. As a matter of fact, inflation is now the order of the day. Then organizations are talking about cost of living adjustment. If you're interested in joining me for the Compensation and Benefit Masterclass with Segun Akiode, this is the time for you to click in the video description for the waiting list. Then I'm going to be able to send you details of the registration to your inbox. I'll see you in class. Cheers.